Okay, I do believe we are live. We had a little bit of a message warning us against some problems with LinkedIn, but
Oh,
we should be good. Just some tech
great.
issues as we start. Welcome, men. Welcome to the 5 Days to Personal Power Challenge. Ruben and I are here today to just introduce ourselves to you, to answer any questions that you might have, and get you ready for Monday. So I'm excited to be here today with you. Good to be here with you, Ruben.
Yeah, thanks, Ivan. And I'm curious where the people can comment. Is that here on the webinar or is that on all the different platforms?
We
I
are
don't have
using this
eyes,
technology. We are using this technology for the first time. I believe that you should be able to comment inside of the Facebook group. Be aware that this video is currently streaming across all of our platforms on YouTube and several Facebook groups and my personal profile, because we want more men to join us inside of this challenge. But first and foremost, it's just a real honor that you have chosen to join us for this 5 Days to Personal Power Challenge. It's something that we've been very focused on for many years, isn't it, Ruben? Inside of Reclaiming the Throne.
Yeah, it's a massive part of my own journey as well. So it's close to my heart, really.
Yeah.
Can you remember when I came in and I was...
3 years ago, this young man just stumbled across the doorstep to Reclaiming the Throne without any money in his pocket, and he had to sell his Magic the Gathering card set in order to afford it. And well, your journey of transformation, Ruben, is a testament to the power of this work that we're about to do together.
Exactly.
So
yeah. So welcome, guys. You know, maybe you don't know what to expect. Maybe you are hopeful. Maybe you have secret wishes of a better, more expanded, aligned life. And I have them too. And I'm pursuing them every day. And we're here to just help you along that path, really.
Yeah. You and I are both very passionate about this, Ruben. We believe that at this particular time in the human journey, you know, there's such a tremendous need for men to just claim our personal power yet again. And the man that we have found ourselves serving for many years is it's really the sensitive yet purposeful man who needs to reclaim his personal power in order to build the life and the world that really his heart and soul desire. And that's what we're here to support you with next week, starting 29th of March, to claim your personal power so that you can start building the life and the world that your heart so truly desires. And if we have done our job correctly with our marketing and our messaging, and most of you men, you see yourself in this description of a sensitive man on purpose. And right now, there is a particular challenge that comes with being sensitive. Because sensitivity, it's easy for sensitivity to be construed by us men as some sort of emasculating, compromising condition. It isn't. And it seems that to be sensitive isn't really a gendered phenomenon. And so for whatever reason, maybe you were born with a very open nervous system. Maybe you had some sort of chronic condition that somehow changed how you're wired so that you now feel more. You're now more attuned to the subtle things that are happening in your body, so you can feel if it's healthy, if it's not healthy, if it makes you stronger, if it makes you weaker, so on and so forth. And this is really a blessing and a curse. I was born with a very open nervous system myself, and so at the very early age, I could tell if people around me were lying, if they were congruent, if they were just full of shit. And I don't know, was it like that for you as well, Ruben?
Well, I knew when the energies of people were bad. So I knew intuitively that I wanted to be with some people who felt safe and not with others. But for me, those unsafe people were men. and women were safe. And so I was conditioned to please and to be sensitive to women's needs, and particularly my mother's emotional states and energetical states. And so that was really why I did it, so I could please and adapt. And that's made me very sensitive. Like, I don't know if it's nervous system related, but just the conditioning of, I need to adapt in order to be emotionally safe. Otherwise, this mother, this caretaker, will erupt and become unpredictable and violent and generally very unsafe. So that was my sort of the trick I had to develop.
Welcome, Michelle. Michelle, I don't think. Oh, that's a woman. Yeah. So that's we are reaching many. Welcome, Michelle. I don't think you're angry, Ruben, but any questions that might be coming in, we'd love to take them.
Angry.
Yeah.
Am I angry?
So the great pleasure then is of supporting men to realize that it's the most magnificent thing to be sensitive as well as powerful.
It's the only thing.
For a sensitive man, attuned to his partner, to the world, to himself, without compromising his boundaries, without dropping his core, without leaving his center, there are few things that I can imagine that are more potent and more beautiful than a man standing in that vertical axis, that personal power, that heart-centered dedication to opening other people, to opening the world, to opening himself to greater levels of power, opportunity, purpose, beauty. Yep. And typically that journey isn't one of adding many layers of conditioning. By the time that you guys watching this are here, you have taken on tons of layers of conditioning. Like I did when I was young. I thought that I had to perform all of the time, otherwise I wouldn't be loved. And that was my story, and to some extent it still is. These deep patterns that we have wired into our nervous system, into our belief systems, that make us go crazy with adaptive behavior. We try to adapt to that person's needs and desires, and we end up leaving ourselves. And so that's not the journey we're taking to add more to that. No, it's rather a journey of shedding. It is a journey of stripping away the layers that you have piled on top to be competent, to be strong, to be whatever. You're actually inherently powerful.
Yeah.
We all are.
So good. You have this core, and that's always there. See? Core. And then when you strip away the rest, it's like your core opens up and you can be actually who you are on the inside. It's like you are freeing yourself. It's not like you have to perform and do some sort of trick to become powerful, but to just surrender into your, well, core, which could be your heart and your balls, really. It's a full embodiment, but it just breaks you open, and it just opens you up. And it ripples out. So it's not just a beautiful thing to see a man in his alignment, but what that does to people, how women respond to that sort of presence, and how people seem to become more congruent and everything seems to fall into place. That is the general healing that I find so beautiful. And that is way more than one man stepping into his power. That is a community and a family can just turn around in on itself and heal and stabilize.
Beautiful. Yeah, and when I don't have that personal power as a man, the dragon of self-doubt just keeps coming back. And I stand there on the threshold of doing something that I know that is important for my soul, for my gift, for my legacy. There's something I have been born onto this planet to deliver in the form of some kind of transformation, some kind of gift, some kind of craft. I don't know what it is for you, but I know that all of us have that as a potential, or we're already in the act of giving it. Though wherever you are on your personal developmental journey, there will always be that moment that I stand on the threshold, you stand on the threshold, and the dragon of self-doubt just lingers on the other side. You know, you're afraid that the moment that you go across there, you can't actually manage, because there's a level of uncertainty in stepping into the unknown. And so as a man that is sensitive on purpose, but not really having that personal power that's required for me to step across into the unknown, I go from being sensitive to being sedated. So I start shutting down.
Yeah.
And I start feeling depressed and lonely and anxious, and I start hating myself, and I lose my self-respect and my inherent God-given sense of dignity.
Dignity, yeah. Yeah.
Because I'm not taking the step across. See, there is a gateway that may be burning, and so the fire is some kind of truth that is going to sear away the layers of self-deception and lies that we come to fill our lives with in order to justify not taking the step. That dragon of self-doubt holds us back. And if we don't have that personal power to take the step through the burning gates that burn away the layers of conditioning, all of the bullshit, then we're not going to be happy. We're going to go from sensitive to sedated. And this is the way that more and more, I'm going to go all out gloomy on you now. This is why more and more men are killing themselves. It's a fucking tragedy, because men aren't being told that they're beautiful and that their gifts are wanted and masculine power is wonderful and it's all fucking great. And that's what we're going to be here to tell you. That what runs inside of you in the form of twilight whispers of a life that you're meant to live, of a beckoning across the threshold, there's something your heart desires, there's something your soul desires. It is good. You can trust that you're being called into something which is good. It is scary, but it is good. And on this 5-day challenge, we're going to start burning away some of this crap. We're going to start delivering some powerful tools to you that we have developed over more than 6 years now of taking hundreds of men into new lives for themselves. And Michelle said more men need to show their hearts for sure. I agree with you, Michelle. Thank you. I agree with you.
Yeah, it touched me when you said that right before. And that more men are killing themselves. The thing that really hit me was the realization that, for example, I was raised without a father, and as a result, I don't know how it's been done being a man. And then the next generation has no clue what it means to be a man, and so that next younger generation has no role models anymore because they've lost it somewhere along the way. And so it's not just bad. It's a self-perpetuating and actually aggravating cycle. It's a process that when this continues, less boys will know how to be a man, and they will even be less competent in being a role model, a mentor, or a solid enough father. And that is where I just see beauty and potential, but I'm just, because it's part of my own story, it really hits me with having that notion of urgency. It's us who got to step up, and if we don't know how, learn how to be an empowered, solid, compassionate man, and then teach it to the younger guys. It's the only way I see a wholehearted, beautiful future, and it must happen, or we will, I think, burn down the world, really, one way or another.
So we live in this challenging moment where, on the one hand, we have people that are proponents of masculinity that are often a bit shut down. They don't trust their vulnerability. And on the other hand, you have people that are more vulnerable, more open, but that typically don't appreciate masculinity. I don't know if you recognize this as trends in our culture, but there's a certain addiction with victimhood narratives perpetuated through wokeness, cancel culture, and all of these new social trends that are destroying our individual sovereignty and our capacity to stand in our power and to deliver truth precisely, fiercely into the world. And if men don't evolve beyond that now, and we're like, okay, so if I speak out, I may be taken down, I may be hated, but I'm doing what I'm here to do. And that I take that risk so that I can live a life where I love myself. And where the people that know me love me because I'm at peace internally, because I'm doing what I'm here to do. See, if I'm not actually doing what my soul wants me to do, if I'm not actually stepping in and listening to that call internally, then I'm not going to be a happy man. I'm just not. And no matter what kind of ideas I have in my head, I'm not going to contribute the kind of love and freedom to other people that I want to.
Yeah.
And so on this, what did you say, Robin?
Then you are going to be smaller than you would want to be, and you have less impact, less compassion, less tangibility with the world.
Exactly. So I see now that we have a brother from inside of the challenge group. For some reason, there's a problem with Facebook and this technology that we use, that we don't see your name. And so all we see is Facebook user. But we will come into the group, only the group, in just a few minutes. We wanted to blast this out to multiple channels because over this weekend, we expect a couple of hundred men to join us inside of this challenge. And so if you feel inspired, if you're a sensitive man on purpose that wants to claim your personal power so that you can build the life and the world that your heart desires, I think there's a lot of you out there, then you join this challenge. It's only for men. You go to 5daystopersonalpower.com and you join, and this is entirely free. 5 days next week. Powerful stripping away, bonding with your brothers inside of the challenge, making sure that you actually give yourself the gift of personal power this spring. So that's the invitation. Is there anything else that you hope to add, Ruben, before we start wrapping this up?
Yeah, so for me, it's in the little things, because I talk about impacting the world, healing families and societies, and, shifting the paradigm around. And I'm talking about that. But it's in the little things. So when I walk around a corner and I feel, no, I should actually approach this person or buy this or arrange this, and I feel fear actually pulling me out of it, then I can cut through and say, no, I got to do this. And so it's not just being a change maker who changes paradigms, but who continuously practice in the small decisions to lean in and to be sharp, be crisp. UIMA users may know the acronym for Warrior, be crisp, and just lean in and cut through that self-doubt, that dragon of self-doubt that Ivan spoke of. And in the little things, create this momentum of living in alignment where you feel dignified, and you didn't walk away in out of fear and sit on the couch in sedation. No, you feel dignified and you achieve something, and life is working with you. The flow of life can take you. And so practice the little thing.
One step and another step.
Exactly.
And then you build momentum and you start to feel dignified again. You start to have self-respect, and then you start to feel a certain growing level of mastery. And now you believe that you can step across into the unknown. And so you step out there and you free fall into some sort of high intensity life purpose, passion experience. And that might be what you want. That's the life that I live and I want to keep living. This is the kind of life that we are looking to support men in reclaiming the throne to claim for themselves. And as you say, Michelle, it is so important work for men to learn how to be real men. It is needed. Thank you for the blessing, Michelle. Appreciate that. And we also need to, we need to be able to do that without posturing, without being some sort of stereotypical posturing men
Fuck,
that
man.
shut
Yeah.
down our hearts.
I've been there, man. And if I'm not watchful, I can just go there. And a few weeks later, I ask myself, what the hell happened? I'm empty and soulless and I'm fucking overwhelmed. What happened? Where did I lose it? And it's like, okay, get back in there, be real, align, relax, and balance, you know. And so it's a path that will, you know, it goes like this, and it's a balancing act that takes you closer and closer to the center. And I believe that if we practice this, we can actually remain aligned for longer and longer periods, and that's going to be fucking inspiring for others. So I think that's one of the keys.
Beautiful. Well, regardless of where you've been watching Ruben and myself, thank you for chiming in. And for you brothers who have already taken the courageous step to join the challenge, I don't know if you have any questions, but we're going to start a thread inside of the group right now where you can come in and ask some questions, and we'll be monitoring that for the next 10 minutes or so. So if you have anything that you wonder, maybe you want to prepare a little bit, maybe you wonder about the schedule, whatever, we'll be right there after we end this broadcast.
Checking with us in the group, we'll be there.
And if you're a man who desires to join, go to 5daystopersonalpower.com, and we'll be kicking ass and setting this house on fire next week. So, yeah. Thanks, guys. Thanks, Michelle. Thanks, everyone who's been watching. Have a brilliant weekend. See you next week.
Yeah, see you there. Ciao.